It's been the story of the week in the NFL. Patriots linebacker Tedy Bruschi confirmed on Monday that he is indeed coming back 8 months after suffering a stroke. He has been cleared by all the doctors. The Patriots have given Bruschi the okay, and he will officially return to practice this Wednesday. We will, of course, have full coverage of that on Wednesday's edition of NFL Total Access. Here's Tedy Bruschi on Monday.
There were times in my mind I thought I was done. I thought I was done at times. Come on, I can't see. I can barely walk. How am I going to be able to play football again? I'm just being honest with you here. That's the way I felt. I truly believe it was meant to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I had a stroke, and but the word is had. The word is had. I had a stroke. I've recovered from it, and here I am. I don't have any reservations, and I can't. I'm playing. Football is a contact sport, and I wouldn't have come to this point here unless I've had the clearance that I've had. I've had the information that I have. That information, that clearance, those doctors, those physicians, all the information that they've unanimously given me. That gives me the confidence to where my head is ringing because I just hit somebody in the head. So that's what I'll go with.
So Tedy Bruschi is coming back, but we did want to investigate further just how safe this is, and to do that, we welcome in Dr. James McPherson, who's a heart specialist from Centinela Freedman Hospital. And doctor, based on your understanding, what kind of stroke did Tedy Bruschi have?
Well, there are two types of strokes that you can have. One is an embolic stroke, the other is an hemorrhagic stroke. An embolic stroke means that a blood clot or some piece of debris has somehow gotten into the brain circulation, and that's the type that we think that Tedy had.
So, based on what you know of this situation, if he was your patient, what would be the advice that you would give him?
It's a tough question because this is uncharted territory. To my knowledge, there has not been an NFL player to return to active playing after having suffered a stroke. Our best information is what we know about concussions, and we know that there's been several players in the NFL who have had concussions. Many of them do go on to play, but this is really uncharted territory. The best thing that I could tell him, based on what I know, is that he certainly can come back to play, but his risk for some type of brain injury may be somewhat increased as a result.
What about the high impact of the NFL, these hard hits that he's obviously going to be encountering as a linebacker? I mean, is that putting him at a whole different risk level?
Again, we don't know about that because we don't have that many examples to see. There is a soccer player from Australia, Angelo Lakis, who suffered a stroke at the age of 29 and then returned to playing 121 days after suffering the stroke. Obviously, football is a combat sport, whereas soccer is just a contact sport. So in the case of Bruschi, we don't know. And the best that I could offer him as a physician is just to say that you can play, but your risk of injury is going to be a bit higher than if you hadn't had a stroke.
So he basically is a test case.
Exactly.
What about the fact that he's an athlete, his makeup as an athlete, does that make him better suited than, say, just a layman? I
think so. I mean, he's in top physical condition, at least he was before he had the stroke. He's got excellent doctors who have cleared him from a neurologic standpoint. At this point, I don't think he has any residual effects of the stroke. What happens in the future as far as repeated head contact is going to be anybody's guess.
The remarkable ability to come back and play football after something like this happens, do you think that can be an inspiration for other people who have suffered from stroke?
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, in the gentleman that I mentioned, the soccer player Lakis, he has become a spokesman for the Stroke Foundation. And I certainly think that Bruschi is an inspiration to many people, and now he will be an inspiration to many more people who have had strokes.
So essentially, Tedy Bruschi is going to be the test case for this.
He will be, but I think he's certainly an excellent physical specimen. He's an inspirational guy, and I think he's going to inspire a lot more people who have had this injury, who have had a stroke, to go out and live productive lives.
Dr. James McPherson, thanks a lot for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
When we continue on this edition of NFL Total Access, all the days